So we have come back to talk about a very interesting topic, which is about racism and discrimination. What do we know about racism and discrimination, how it can affect our life, and is it a good thing or a bad thing, and what is our opinion about it, and why it's important to know this. So let's start talking about racism and discrimination. So racism is about subjecting your opinion, resources, and decisions not based on facts, but based on human differences. And by human differences, I mean could be differences in terms of color, differences in terms of gender or sexuality, differences in terms of nationality, differences in terms of religion, differences in terms of age, and differences in terms of physical ability. It could be some people who have some kind of who are disabled. They could face some level of discrimination, not associated with their ability, but associated with the fact that they are disabled. Now, that is being said, why it's important that we understand racism and why it's important that we understand discrimination. And racism is about being actively involved in the process of being aggressive towards other race or other people, while discrimination is more about trying to eliminate rather than being aggressive towards the other race or different people. And both are bad. And why both are bad? Because human beings tend to try very hard to build stronger communities and stronger societies and stronger teams that can take the best out of every human being and try to put it in the best place possible, so he can contribute for the advancement of humanity in general. What happens in reality that people tend to build their groups based on identity, and they define themselves based on identity, and this identity sometimes becomes so strong that it becomes discriminatory, in the sense that there will be a very strong focus on nationalism, or a very strong focus on religion, or a very strong focus on gender that affect whether you can include a person from another race or a person from another group. And based on that, you miss the chance of utilizing other people's capability and other people's contribution that might be much better than the contribution of someone from your same group, or at least at the same level. And it's about justice as well. It's about justice, that you are spreading a strong message across society that no matter where you come from, no matter what's your background, you will always have a chance to prosper within our society. And personally, I think it's very important that we understand racism and we understand discrimination in order to be able to predict our opportunities in this life. So I have been subjected to racism. It could be because of religion and because of background in terms of country and region. So I think because of that, you would be getting less opportunities, and maybe you would be getting, in terms of employment, I have definitely faced serious racism, and this is something that it's no way that anyone in the world would even try to talk against it, or at least deny it. So this is what happened in my life. So what I advise different people and different young people across the globe, that they should, in addition to their assessment of the economical conditions and different social parameters that affect their decisions. So, for example, I study physics. I can work for an organization that is specialized in physics. They should also include the racism index, and there is no real racism index that measures racism across different nations or across different companies. And I propose that such an index would be a good thing to have. because it actually helps young people to assess whether they can get a chance in this company, or whether they can get a chance in this country, or whether they can get a chance within this particular community. And as much as this index can be judgmental, because racism is hidden. In many cases, racism comes in a hidden way, so people don't like to talk about it. They actually do it, but they don't like to talk about it. And based on that, it would be an index that can help people assess potential opportunities across the globe. I wish that you can build a stronger society, stronger teams that can be inclusive and include different people from different backgrounds with different capabilities and with different skills, and a set of skills that they can bring to the group. And this is the world that we would like to see, a world that lacks racism. However, I think the world that we are seeing these days, a world that is going towards nationalism, a world that has a very strong opinions about different races and different countries, and whether it was Islamophobia or Russophobia, or pure discrimination on color, or whether it was something like Black Lives Matter and so on, or something like the American ban on some Muslims from some nationality, part of this Islamophobia thing. So I think we are going towards a society that is more discriminatory, and we see some lights. We see some people are holding some lights and holding some torches of inclusion and torches of hope for people from across the globe. But I think the nationalistic identity, along with the Islamophobia agenda, I think it is much stronger than the hopes that people are trying to spread. And it's time that you join the movement. It's time that you overcome all the obstacles within yourself, and it's time that you try to be a person who's inclusive, and a person who can judge other based on contribution rather than color, group, age, or any other form of difference. I wish you a great night. We'll see you in our third talk, and salam.